Hey, so we're going to talk about this Travis Scott thing. I'm driving, so I'm not going to go into all the, oh, look at this symbol. Oh, look at this symbol. Oh, look at this symbol. Because honestly, this was the most obvious satanic ritual I've ever seen in my life. It was obvious it was a satanic ritual. It was obvious that's what it was going to do. I honestly, if you want to see all the symbolism they use to make it obvious, you can see it. So I'm not going to go over, oh, look, they used a simple symbol for children's sacrifice. Oh, look, they used the symbol for the astral plane. Oh, look, they used the symbol of the Freemason. Oh, look, they used the symbol. Yes. And that was done on purpose because this is the awakening period. So if you guys want to Google all the, like, literally thousands of symbols they use to make it very obvious what the intention and energy behind this demonic ritual was, and it was a demon, and I will go into details on that. Layla, put your headphones in, baby. Oh, plug it. Did you? Well, push it in all the way, okay? Okay, I'm so sorry. All right, go ahead and push it all the way in and take your mask off. You don't need it on anymore. Okay. All right. So yeah, so let me get back. Yeah, so if you want to look up all the freaking obvious symbols in the whole entire world, they had symbols for animal sacrifice, for child sacrifice. They had the symbols. But you got to understand, if you want to see all that, that's cool to know if you want to know esoteric knowledge and you want to see the symbol for Freemasonry. You want to see the Luciferian symbols. You want to see the symbol that shows, for people who are stuck in the astral. You can go look at that. I'm not going to show that because to me, it's so freaking obvious. That's not the point. Well, it sort of is the point, and that's what I want to talk about because there's a spiritual message behind all of this. It was so blatant and in your face that I mean, I don't want to go into it because it was the most blatant thing possible, and that was done on purpose. So with all this thing, spiritual warfare going on, which, I'm going to continue to tell you, you're going to either believe it or not, but I want to tell everyone who went, you consented. You consented, and now you're marked. Now, it doesn't mean it's the end of the world, but it was extremely blatant, and it was extremely obvious what they were walking into, and it was supposed to be. God, so the creator, I'll just say creator, allows these things to wake people up. And we're in the awakening period right now. You guys noticed, even if you're not really spiritual, things are just, oh my God, I didn't know this. I didn't know this. I didn't know this. We're just awakening to different truths that we never knew, right? So this was the most obvious satanic, demonic ritual that we've ever seen. And it was because we need to wake people up. And I think it had its purpose because now when I talk to the normal person who isn't necessarily as spiritually aware as I am, I can tell them satanic rituals are taking place, just like the Travis Scott thing. And they're like, okay. Whereas before they're like, I don't know, it's just a show. They made it so blatant that even the people who went, who've been joking, who manifested this, who participated in this ritual, even they understand, oh, this isn't just a joke. When we say these words, we continue, we participate, we're consenting. So even they, which are mostly kids, right? Even they know. Now, the one part about it is that it was so blatant in your face. And that's to awaken people up. It's to awaken people like us. It's to awaken the people who are participating. But I want to talk about things no one else is talking about because I channeled on this, meaning I went inside to ask my ancestors and, just, being spirits that have just a higher perspective of what's going on than we can see, right? Who are privy to knowledge that we're just not privy to. So we have to access that. And the reality is every single one of those. So, okay, let me tell you about what I saw clairvoyantly and just watching physically. Just watching physically, you could literally see the demonic entities flying through the air and attaching to people. So there's a lot of people who did not watch this because even before they watched, something in their heart said, I know this is bad. Okay? They just heard about it. And that was your intuition saying, you don't need to watch this. Even me watching it, I know I have to gird myself in my armor of God. I have to gird my own self so that I don't, because you can watch something, and when you're watching something, you're participating. Does that make sense? So you have to really guard your energy. Up until this time, you guys have been watching people. Alchemy has been written on you. Alchemy has been played on you. If you do not set the intention, I'm just watching this for entertainment, I do not agree to any simulation or any programming, you are being programmed. So I love the fact that so many people said, I heard about it, I am not watching that. And it was generally my Scorpio friends or people who are not like as tuned in as I am with like my knowledge and whatnot, but they all knew not to look. And I'm actually really happy that people have at least that level of discernment to know you don't want to watch just anything, especially if you don't have the knowledge on how to protect yourself. So that's why. Really happy to see that. Two, let's talk about these kids, these 14, 15, 20, young 20-year-olds. All of them are marked. They all consented. When they spoke those words, when they're laughing and they're repeating these rap songs, all of this stuff, they're consenting. When they entered through that portal, they consented. When they attended Astro World, they consented. When they read the pamphlet about what it was about, they consented. This was the biggest, largest mass demonic ritual ever taking place on this nation's planet, as far as from any documented sources that we've heard, ever. And this is what I saw. I saw a demonic entity, because you can see, and you can even see these too, because the veil is so thin right now, even you can see energy signatures flying through the air. Because I've seen the TikTok videos with like, oh, is that a spirit? Yes, it was. Like, we can see it. But those a little bit more highly tuned can see them even more so. Flying through the air, landing on people, attaching to people. I saw Travis, he was at that moment demons. Like, I actually have not battled a demon, nor do I want to. I just definitely, if there's low level beings and entities, they're not necessarily smart. Some are, some aren't. Some are vampiric, some are, they're just like random creations. They're not necessarily really bad. Some are animals, some are serpents, or just whatever, but they're not necessarily a demon, right? There's a higher level of functioning and cognizance in a demon. I'm very happy that my team, my spiritual team, I know how to remove spirit attachments, but it has not been anything demonic with a higher level of intelligence and knowledge. That's a foe no one really wants to go against. But when I saw Travis at that moment, especially when he was doing the yeah, that he wasn't all there. So what happens with these spirit attachments? He had a very large one. What happens with these spirit attachments is that they're attached to you. They're speaking in your ear. They're telling you to do all sorts of negative things because they feed off low vibration. And you think it's your thought. That is why, you know, if you've been looking back on my videos, I'm talking about spirit attachments, get rid of them, because it's not you, but you think it's you, and they're goading you to things that put you in a more negative pathway. It's not to your higher, it's always to your lower, right? Like when I'm out in public, I can tell when someone has spirit attachments that are negative because, you know, I'm like, you're not reacting normally, right? And then I cleanse them because, you know, we all have that dominion and power to do it. It's just who wants the knowledge, right? And they completely change instantaneously because that thing that was influencing them without their knowledge, that attachment. And I'm going to tell you, 99% of you guys have attachments. You. So if you are not aware, you do not cleanse your inner, you have an attachment. They're feeding off your light. They're feeding off you. They're going to try to make you do very nasty things. Maybe something happens and you take it way extra more than you need to, and then it blows up. It might not be you. It might not. The thing is, they have all of you guys with so many people with their eyes closed about the spiritual world that they can run amok among you guys, and you don't even realize that your problems and that bad luck and this and that is from a negative spirit because you're not aware, you're not cleansing, you haven't so that's the reality. So you can see them flying through the air. When he was doing that trippy part, I can tell looking at his energy and signature, he wasn't all there at that moment. A very large demonic entity was attached. Like I said, there's a difference between a spirit. So I've had random spirits are like, hey, Lisa, can you talk to me? I didn't know anyone could see me. I'm like, no, I'm busy. But, you know, they're just relatively neutral. They're just traveling the astral world. If they see somebody who lets it be known that they're a light or that they can communicate, they'll talk. And then there's just low-level beings that just detach and they don't have much consciousness. You try to speak to them, they just repeat words. Like, they don't have that much. And then you have more negative entities that do know and whatnot. Now, these were demonic, and he had a rather large one who had taken over at that point. The eighth depths, and I confirmed this with my spiritual team when I channeled on it, they were part of the energy harvest. That demonic being now has way more power than it ever had before because of that ritual. He harvested those lives and the energy of the souls who passed. Isn't that extremely sad to a demon? Now, from what I gathered, is Travis Scott like knowing that he has a spiritual demon attached to him? No. But is that demon attached to him and using his Pied Piper status to get these young melanated and brown skinned kids to be a part of his army? Yes. So he's not aware the way I would be aware, but he's just following the path of what this demonic entity that's attached to him is doing, and they're using him. We're not even going to get to the Kardashians who are satanic themselves and really good witches. How do you think they got so rich off of nothing, right? We're not going to get into that. But, you know, Kylie, and she's always there. The Jenners are always here. They're always attached to this. Things bad always happen to them. It's almost like they're doing really horrible witchcraft and sorcery. So we're not going to get too much into there, but just know that's what's going on. 1 second. I just got to cleanse my energy real quick. So all of this is out there. So what I want to say to the people, so that's what happened. I can clearly see it. Entities just abounding, da-da-da-da. And so the next part is, so watching him, seeing him under a trance, he's not quite there. So that demonic entity is now very strong and now attached to Travis. If Travis is not aware, and from what I gather, they are, because they all sort of sell their souls to the devils. They just don't know what that means. Just because you sold your soul doesn't know, you don't know what the plan is. He doesn't tell you the plan. You just execute your part of the plan. All the executives who sold their souls because of the money and fame, which is so funny because they could just make their own wealth contract with their higher self like I did, right? All those people who sold their souls, they're all part of it, but they don't know the whole plan. They're just reacting and being told astrally by this attachment what to do. So it's sad. He is a tool. You need to recognize it and know it. And that's what's going on. So if you don't have to watch it, but if you do, just surround yourself in some light. Ask God to protect you. Say that you're just watching this and you don't want any parts of discarnate beings. Discarnate beings is what you call like spirits, people who don't have a body, to attach to you. Just really protect yourself, right? Purify your space if you want to watch. But if you see that clip, he's not there. Now he came to, and it was probably like this foggy dream. It's like when I go under, you come back, you're like, oh shoot, like you really leave your body, you know? And that's probably what happened to him. But this was blatant on purpose to wake people up. That is why the creator allows it. That's why creator allowed COVID. It really, sorry to want to tell you guys, but it was a test. It was a test. It was like, who do you believe in? Science or, you know, or yourself, you know? And we won't get too deep into that. Now, the other part about the people who participated. Now, first of all, you laughing and joking and saying these words and not realizing they have power, well, joke's on you. You are now part of his army. And this is what's going to happen to you. You are going to have demons and entities sent to attach to you. Not 1, not 2, 5, 10, 15, 20. Because you consented. Even though it was through your ignorance, which is how they get all of you and all of the people to consent. It doesn't matter. You're still allowed. You said those words of power. You repeated those lyrics. Right? So if you know someone who went or see someone, like, just get this message out to them. You need to cleanse and you need to pray. You need to rebuke. You need to bind. You need to say whatever. I mean, I'm not religious, but, you know, Jesus' word is powerful and I use it. Say you don't consent to this. I remove all consent, past, present, and future at any point in time. I am not his. I am in the light, and choose those actions and activities and energetic actions that keep you in the light, right? And that was just the spiritual part. We're not even getting to the technology part. So there's so many layers to this when you have, you know, of the perspective. So they all need to cleanse. And if they don't, they're going to find out, oh my God, bad things keep happening. Yes, they do. And they're not going to stop. They're not going to stop till you're in jail and miserable, okay? Till you're out homeless and miserable. You know what I mean? So, and so 50,000 plus people, guess what? That's a big army that Satan has right now who don't know that they're his army. Don't know that he's going to send entities and he's going to have them do stuff and say things in their ears so they spread negativity, spread poverty, spread pain, spread murder, spread all of that stuff. They are all marked. And you know, one person who is messed up can affect hundreds of others. So if you guys want, say a prayer for those people like I did. I actually did a prayer, cleanse their energy, cleanse the spiritual attachments. But even if you wanted to, because this will have ramifications, this will reverberate, say something to cover them in the protection that they wake up and cleanse themselves so that they are not used as a vessel, even though they consented. These are young kids. They're 15, 16, they're in their 20s, I saw. And they're all marked. And you guys, it's bad when this happens. I get one spirit attachments and I get negative thoughts. I'm just highly aware. And I'm like, okay, let me remove this thing. Right? These kids have no clue. They're not doing this work. They're not. They think, what, spirits, ghosts are real. They're like, are ghosts real? When it's like realer than you, honestly. Those ghosts are more real than you, and they're playing around with you because you don't know. They're getting over on you. They're feeding off you because you don't know. So then I didn't even I was talking to my mentor about my channelings. I'm not even getting to the technology part where the frequency and bass, all of that low vibrational items, all of that low tones and that low bass, guess what that stimulates? That stimulates your survival and root chakra, but not the way a shamanic drumming does. That's in a positive way, in a negative way. They were using technology and the frequency and the bass to control the crowd and spread negative energy. And then when that bass, I think it's the 808 bass frequency, but you can look it up. It's something that it stimulates your root chakra, but it stimulates the fear and survival, right? Also, there are some talks that there's graphene antennas that can be tuned depending on the frequency that is there, because it's like, and guess where you get graphene? In the so there's technology that exists that makes graphene a technology that can be tuned to different frequencies to have a specific results. And I also see this as a mass experiment on those who took the, okay? So they were there. So the mass experiment, I mean, it was seen. They can control a crowd. They can get people after a few minutes. It wasn't instantaneous, but 20, 30 minutes, get them into a sort of trance, throw some energy on them, and have them act in a way. Because, you know, with all that fear, guess who's feeding off that? All those negative entities. All the pain, all the screaming, all the anxiety, all the yelling, all the pandemonium. Guess who was having a feast? The Luciferian minions. Okay? They had a feast. And now they're stronger than they were. And now they have, 50,000 plus people who are now in their army that they can go after and mark. Not only can they spread misery in those people's lives and feed off of it, but get those people to spread misery in other people's lives. So this is a big deal in certain ways, because this will have an effect on other people. But there were so many layers. And so was there any other layers? Well, you know, it was interesting finding out about the Kardashians and how satanic they were. That was pretty interesting, right? You can look it up. There's like conspiracy theories, but the conspiracies aren't wrong. You know, it is very easy to go to the dark once you find out that you're powerful. I stay in the light because I don't want any negative karma. You can feel my energy. You can feel my energy and know where I stay, because energy doesn't lie. Close your eyes and feel my energy. You will feel light. You do not feel darkness, because I have very high integrity about it. Not everyone has high integrity. They realize they have this power, and all these sleeping people, you know, they take advantage. So enough of that. So yeah, so yes, if you want to go over all the imagery, I was going through some of it, but there was like literally like hundreds. And I was like, after the first 10, I was like, okay, I get it. It was so blatant. And it was cool to see the imagery and get like, this is used for this. This is like the gates of hell. This is like a portal that they talked about in Dante Inferno. This is like the Grim Reaper that shows he's generally a symbol of sacrificing of children in order for, you know, dark work. So I mean, just keep going. They used every symbol of satanic and demonic worship that they can. Okay, but just understand, spread some light, pray over them, and there's a lot of things going on. And so in the future, depending on what your timeline is, okay, they're testing this stuff out on people. You know, they're testing out how can you manipulate people to act in a crazy panic, like the movie The Cell, right? All just with a symbol. You know, so I think there's that movie in the UK where everyone had a cell phone, and a signal went out over the cell phone, and everyone had the signal. And when everyone heard the signal, they all started being violent. So let me tell you something. These movies aren't just movies. They are messages that you need to understand about what can happen if you allow it. So someone asked a question about what were they saying about people who were injected. It was part of the ritual sacrifice. It's very sad. It's all sad. So that's just what I picked up. I wanted to go over it because everyone is going over all the symbolism, which is great because we all need to educate ourselves. So I actually encourage you, when they go step by all the imagery, all the words, everything they used, everything they showed, everything that correlated to a dark satanic ritual, please learn it, because we have to have this knowledge. I don't need this knowledge to know that, you know, I don't listen to low vibrational music. I don't listen to rap music. Like, you know, I'm not programming that stuff into my psyche. It's horrible, right? So, like, do I need this education? It's cool to know. So, you know, I'll watch just for education's sake. And I think you too, because this is real. There's a feast. There's a feast that happened. You have 50,000 souls who are now, even though they don't know, consented for him to use it any way possible, and to follow them and to target them to do the horrible bidding, to spread that fear, the low vibration, and the anger and the pain. Okay? So pray over them like I did, that they wake up and they realize what happened, and that there are consequences for the rest of their life until they wake up and cleanse all of that out of it and rebuke it. The technology. So yeah, I just wanted to come with my thoughts. You know, it's this world is increasingly getting dark. Okay? And the only way to navigate it is to educate yourself with knowledge, to empower yourself, and not to be ruled by others because of lack of knowledge. It's all about seeking out knowledge, right? So when I'm done, maybe I'll post some videos of some people who are really good at doing all of the symbology and showing you references to what this symbol was and what this symbol was, and this symbol and this symbol and this symbol. It keeps going and going and going, right? But you know, you got to remember now, your lack of knowledge does not mean you're not consenting. So you think about those words you're going to say, those curses you're going to make at people, the mean and negative thoughts that you have. Really think about it. Really think about, you know, I hope this brought an awareness that, like, you are participating in whatever you think and whatever you say out loud. Even I got to catch myself, because I'm like, I don't want to go down that path. And staying in the path of light in this dark, dark world, it's not that easy. Depressed. But I'm going to stop right here before I ramble too much. I hope this was educational for you. I hope it empowered you to understand that you are a lot more powerful than you understand. You have a lot more power than you understand. And if he can get you in his army, you know who I'm talking about, Lucifer, he will get you. So always think about your words, because if you would have been thinking about if those kids would have been thinking about their words, they would have already known this isn't a good place to be. This isn't speaking positivity in the world. This isn't speaking life. It's speaking darkness into the world. But to them, it's just a joke. Well, you're going to find out how bad it really is. But they can always cleanse, remove themselves, and we'll just end on that. Love you guys. I appreciate you taking the time to hang out with me on my car ride. All right, bye.